What's poppin', everybody? It's your boy, Snowy Kurama, your coach of the Chicago White Sox for the Season 3 of the NDL. We are in the quarterfinals for this video. I didn't know if we'd make it. I don't know if I wanted to make it, but I did. So here we are. I am 7th seed going up against the 2nd seed, Shirou Ogami and their Alolan Arcanines. This is the battle, as I said in the last video, right at the end, where I misclicked my lead, Terapagos, because I wanted to click off of the hyperlink or whatever, and it ended up being a real bad game on my end. So this time we're trying to get redemption a little bit. I have a completely different team, not a completely different team, but a couple of different team members that are switched out from last time, so that'll be very nice into this battle. Like this video if you are hyped and excited to get into it. Hit that subscribe only if you want to. I'm trying to get up to 200 subs, and with your help I can get there. Let's go ahead and look at the team we're fighting. Lopunny is not a very cool Mond face with a Spectrier because of stupid Scrappy. There's also Pecharunt, which is also very annoying, very bulky. The Delmise, that was my demise last time we faced Shirou, as well as the Tinkaton, which is very, very annoying for the Urshifu. Definitely seems like one of our scarier matches of the season. Hopefully our new 3 team members that I didn't have last time can help in this match. Greninja is also very scary on the special side, so I can't just bring all physical defenders this time around as well. It's going to be a doozy. Let's see what I brought. So unlike the last couple of videos, I'm actually recording this 3 hours or so after the battle instead of 3 weeks. Great character development. I can actually tell you guys what I'm thinking of when I am doing all of these different team stuff. And actually, just off the cuff, I decided to change things up a little bit. I'm going to bring up the other team that I used against this coach and kind of show my thought process on how I wanted to change up my team for this time. As you can see on the screen, I have my Week 7 team against this coach, you know, the Lumberry. I think everybody's got their EVs this time around, which is really, really nice to see. So I looked through this team, picked out some guys that I thought were going to be pretty good still. Like the Heatran trapping the Gouging Fire was pretty nice. I don't believe I was very impressed with Rain at all. Urshifu I thought was still pretty good despite the shitty matchup into the Tinkaton. And this Rabombi didn't work, partly because I'm stupid. And also I figured that it wasn't going to be working again since I tried it last time and didn't work out at all, so I just kind of dropped that. And then Terapagos, it didn't really do much, to be honest. I think I really needed CM. So probably CM Life Orb with Earth Power and Dark Pulse or something, but I didn't go that direction. I'll show you exactly what it is I changed here with this team. We're starting off with Vileplume. This will help greatly into the Lopunny with that Rocky Helmet. We have Strength Sap here, Energy Ball, Sludge Wave, and Toxic. I did not know what to really put for that last move, so I just slotted on Toxic. It'll help against the Delmise. It'll help against the Greninja. So there is all of that. We have enough defense here to take moves from Lopunny without really any type of second thought. You know, we can just shrug that shit off and then get up the Strength Sap. Pretty good, honestly, in my opinion. And the rest of it's just in Spadef, so that we can take hits from, like, Greninja better or Empoleon or what have you. Up next, we have Assault Vest, Urshifu. I went back and forth between putting this thing on a Scarf, since the rest of my team is kind of slow. But I decided to not do that. SD Sub was not a good bring last time, clearly, so I decided to just do the Assault Vest so that I can live some hits from the Greninja, which would be nice, you know, because the Dark Pulse is kind of crazy. And then we also have Trailblaze here to be faster. I believe this 271 puts me ahead of... That puts me ahead of something. Puts me ahead of Lopunny at +1, so that I can just close combat it right afterwards. And then the rest of it is in HP, and I got 4 in defense because I like to have my odd number of HP. 4 in SPDF, rather. Swampert, this time around, is just a bulk up set without any type of rain. So I've got enough HP, not HP, I've got enough speed in here for... I want to say Empoleon or Petrant, one of the two, is what I was trying to outpace with this. EQ, Knockoff, and Hammer Arm are just pretty good attacks into the team. I don't care about my speed stat this time around, aside from, you know, outpacing the guys I just mentioned. So I can Hammer Arm into the Mega Lopunny pretty easily here, the Greninja as well. Delmise is not going to like the knockoff. It's holding the Yachi Berry, I believe, from what I remember last time. So we're not going to be running the Ice Punch for this guy here. The Earthquake is good for the Tinkaton and the Empoleon. It's just a nice stab all around. Oh, and the Gouging Fire, too. Fuck that thing, am I right, boys? I wanted as much bulk as I possibly can get, so I can live a bunch of hits and deal some damage back with the bulk up. Boosted attacks. 404 is still a pretty high attack stat, so I don't think I'm really missing out on too much of this. Up next, we have Spectrier. A nice Spectrier. This used to be Orthworm, so unfortunately, Orthworm is not making an appearance at all since I drafted it. Very unfortunate. Maybe we can get it in a later draft league or later season. But this Spectrier is a Nasty Plot, Shadow Ball, Draining Kiss, Will-O-Wisp set. I want to burn the Mega Lopunny. I want to burn the Flygon. I want to burn the Iron Thorns. I want to burn anything that can take a Toxic and say, what is this? Yum, yum, yum. Speaking of, what the hell is that? I've got enough speed in here for the Greninja. I didn't want to do the agility this time around because I want to have more power so I can kill stuff. Last time we fought Shirou, I was just barely missing out on the KOs. So I got the Nasty Plot here for that. Shadow Ball, Draining Kiss, Auto Bring. I got the nice Covert Cloak here, because last time, the Lopunny was running rampant with U-Turn and Fake Out to kill my Swampert at the end. Covert Cloak is going to make sure that Fake Out doesn't do anything, and I can just hit back with a nice Draining Kiss, or I can Nasty Plot up, or I can do something. That was a nice little last-minute change I'm pretty excited to try out. We have Rabombi here because if we're not doing rain, we're going to go ahead and try to do the screens. We have Sticky Web this time because having his team slowed down by 1.5 times is going to be pretty good. I have all of the investments into speed to outpace the Greninja. All of it into HP except for 4 because I want to keep it odd number for Brox, and I just tossed the last little bit in SPDF. Just to put it somewhere. That is our Rabombi here. Last but not least, we have the same Heatran I brought last time with the Stealth Rock, Mamba Storm, Earth Power, and Toxic. This thing is going to trap the Gouging Fire. It's going to live an Earthquake with a Shuka Berry, and it's going to neutralize the threat. This thing worked out pretty good last time. There's no reason to change it for this time. Let's see if these team changes help us any in the battle. No bench again this time. You're stuck with little old me. He is not going to be streaming the playoffs. So the next 1 to 3 videos will just be me here with the battles. Anyway, we got the battle here against Shirou Ogami. You can see the team. I don't believe there was any changes made from last time, which obviously I wouldn't make any changes either if I won, which is what they did. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's probably all the same sets. Probably just brought the same team because whatever. I didn't, as you can see. So let's get this show on the road. I believe I'm leading Rabombi. I don't quite remember. But their lead, I think, is Lopunny. Let's go ahead and see. I led Vileplume, actually. Probably because I thought they were leading the Lopunny. So, and there we see a Lopunny. It took them a while to switch into the Tinkaton on my Lopunny. I just pressed the Strength stat just in case. it wanted to hit me with like something, you know. Tinkaton's here. We go after the Swampert. He clicks the rocks because unfortunately this time around I do not have a defogger or a spinner or anything on the team. So these rocks are here to stay. Delmites comes in. I go Swampert. I hit on the knock, which is a pretty good mid-ground. In my opinion, it's the only attack I really have for Swampert to hit the Delmites, so what else was I going to do? In hindsight, I think clicking... It's got a name. It's clicking the bulk up into the knockoff would have been better, because Delmize would be at like 20-something HP at this point instead of 44, and then at that point I could have just clicked... Actually, no. I don't know. Bulk up might have been better, but having no item on Delmize, which again, he brought the Yachi Berry, would have been probably fine. I go to the Vileplume. I wanted to get this thing a Toxic. It just synthesizes back all that HP. We see this stupid, annoying Tinkaton back in. Obviously, going to take a Toxic pretty well. I wish, in hindsight, that I had brought Sleep Powder or something on Vileplume, just for a situation like this, in case a Tinkaton is in. Tinkaton Hammer is doing a ton, but it won't this time, because I got the Strength Sap here. We go to Rabombi so I could get up my screens. Clicks Thunder Wave, and here I mistakenly just throw away the Rabombi because I was going a little fast. At that point, you gotta slow down, you gotta start thinking. Which, too late, because I go Swampert, and I thought, oh wait, he's just gonna go stupid Delmize, and Delmize is at full, pretty much. I, for whatever reason, forgot that there was a synthesis that happened. Tunnel visioning what is on the screen. Delmize comes in, I knock off, I do okay damage on that thing. I come out with the Urshifu because I'm expecting a Power Whip of sorts. What was that? What was that? Synthesis! I can Wicked Blow this thing now, or I can CC, or I think I U-turn here, just in case the Tinkaton wants to come in, because this thing is always the dedicated switch to Urshifu last time, so I figured it would do it again here. Heatran comes on in, I am probably Magma Storming. Flygon comes in here. Look how little that did to that Flygon. I don't know if it's because I'm not invested, or if that thing is vested, but it did nothing to the Flygon. Absolutely nothing. I got to Vileplume because I didn't know what else to do. Earthquake does quite a bit of damage. I don't know what the hell's going on. Greninja comes in, I Strength Sap. That would have been a pretty good Energy Ball, or if I even had Giga Drain, that would have been pretty good. But, you know, getting all the way back up, Strength Sap's still decent, is what we want to do. Dark Pulse goes off on the Greninja. I take it pretty well with the Swampert. Goes right out into the Delmize. I go out into the Urshifu because I'm thinking, okay, he's just going to Dark Pulse me again. Let's go out into this guy. And it ended up working out in my favor because now I can Wicked Blow this thing. Tinkaton comes in. I press U-turn. So I'm not playing those games. We go Heatran here. I'm probably just going to click the funny Magma Storm button. We see Flygon coming on in. I actually get up the Stealth Rock. Probably could have just pressed Toxic here. Probably could have just tried the Magma Storm again to will this thing down. But now Delmize does have to come in unless he wants those rocks to stay up and doesn't care. You see the U-turn on the Heatran. Lucky for him, I am not Flame Body. We see the Gouging Fire coming on in. Magma Storm would have been great there, but it's unfortunate. We see a Dragon Dance coming up on the Gouging Fire. It is time. We Earth Power. He Earthquakes. I eat my Shuka. Going down to 14. And Earth Power again. Neutralizing the Gouging Fire. It happened last time. It happened this time. We love it. Unfortunately, Heatran's going to go down here. I think I just clicked Toxic or something on the Greninja on the off chance. But that thing's dead. So it's 4 against 3, and I don't think it's looking that great. We don't want Spectrier just to come in for no reason. Swampert's pretty low. Urshifu is getting there on the low end. And on his team, it looks like everything is pretty much full, aside from the not the Tinkaton, aside from the Flygon. So it's not looking great for me. Urshifu we see a switch. I click CC expecting the Tinkaton, but he goes Delmize. I mean, I guess it makes sense, considering that I could just click the Wicked Blow. No. It makes sense that he'd go this thing on the CC, but I was thinking he wouldn't. And then this is where the mind game comes in. I click Close Combat expecting the Tinkaton because he keeps switching that thing in, but he stays in at the Dhelmise, getting rid of those hazards. That would have been a good Wicked Blow. I click U-turn here, not wanting to play the games. I go Vileplume because I thought, oh shit, he stayed in. What do I do? He clicks Power Whip into the Vileplume, doing nothing, but we do get the Rocky Helmet damage. We see a Synthesis. I just Strength Sap this thing. I was expecting the Dhelmise to leave, otherwise I would have clicked Toxic on it. But it's whatever. Tinkaton comes in here. Do I Toxic this thing because it's annoying? Yeah, this part was getting really, really annoying. I'm not going to hold you. Thunder Waving this thing, very annoying as well. We see a Gigaton Hammer. Hopefully we can, we get the Strength Sap off here. Getting all the way back up to full. We see the Swampert coming in because he cannot possibly click Gigaton Hammer again after this turn. Also, I cannot be paralyzed with the Thunder Wave as we see here. So trying to get off of the, maybe, I get up a Bulk off actually. I was going to say hopefully an Earthquake. But the Dhelmise comes in, I guess I called that pretty good, and we see a Bulk Up. Very nice. We get a Knock, doing some damage to the Dhelmise. Power Whip ends up finishing me off. Looking at that damage, I totally could have just killed it outright if I had clicked Bulk Up off the rip when this thing came on in against the Dhelmise, or when Dhelmise came in the first time. I could have totally just killed this thing off the rip if I had a Bulk Up off. Bulk up, rather. But it's whatever. It's fine. Dhelmise is weakened. We go Spectrier. I wonder about clicking Nasty Plot or something, because I'm thinking something else is going to come in. But I don't want this Dhelmise to just click, like, Shadow Ball, or what? Not Shadow Ball. It probably has, like, Shadow Claw, or Shadow Anchor, or whatever move it gets that's Ghost. I don't want to take that chance. I click Shadow Ball. Grimnay goes off. I'm going to admit this now. I completely forgot that Grimnay was an ability that this thing had. So I'm like, oh, cool. I get a special attack boost. Anyway, we see the Lopunny coming in here. We see the Covert Cloak doing what it does best. Draining, Kissing all the way back up. Vileplume comes on in here after the fact. Actually, I'm gonna talk about that later. See a Close Combat. We see the Rocky Helmet damage and the unfortunate effect score from the Vileplume. Vileplume said, we're not losing this fight just yet. We're not out just yet. But looking back at that damage, we see the Lopunny doing Fake Out. And then I get almost all the way back up to full, where was I at full? I had even less HP, actually. I had even less HP going into the Lopunny. So I totally could have taken a Close Combat right here and just gotten Spectrier that kill. But I think it worked out better that Vileplume was in. The thing that sucks is I could have saved some HP on Vileplume had I stayed in with Spectrier, but what are you going to do? Can't go back in time. We see the Greninja coming in, taking some Rocky Helmet damage, and Paralysis on the Effect Spore. Oh boy. That kind of game now. Strength Sap the Tinkaton, and this is where we're going to stay for a bit, folks. This is where we're going to stay for a bit, because the Tinkaton is here. I'm not trying to switch. He's not trying to switch. I just Thunder Wave stall this guy. Gigaton Hammer's doing not shit because I keep clicking the funny Strength Sap button when I'm not paralyzed. So we can just... This is what happens for like 30 turns. Okay, I go out to Spectrier here on the sleep that I got with the Effect Spore. I think I tried to Strength Sap last turn, but I got paralyzed, which was so stupid. I hate it. Spectrier comes in. And then we see Tinkaton waking up. We take unnecessary damage from the Gigaton Hammer, but it wasn't a lot of damage. I just go right out into the Vileplume again, because I'm not trying to get play roughed, or actually Thunder Waved in this case, because Spectrier needs the speed for the Greninja. So I cannot afford to have this thing be paralyzed. Vileplume has to come back in. Play rough. We see no damage happening to me, but 16% happening to the Tinkaton, and I am recovering all that back, because Vileplume's a dumb. And this is kind of where we sit for turns. turn after turn after turn after turn. This is kind of where we're at. Eventually, the Tinkaton is at this low HP. No Gigaton Hammers left. Then everything else is kind of has a lot of PP left considerably. But the Tinkaton's at 10. My Energy Ball is doing 19 at the most, or at least it seems. So it's whatever. Greninja comes in. Hydro Pump, miss, unfortunately. And I don't get punished by getting paralyzed. Hit that Energy Ball, killing the Greninja. Flygon comes on in here. First Impressions does nothing. I believe I get just paralyzed here. So my next attack before Shirou forfeited here was going to be, I think, Spectrier. Maybe even Urshifu. Maybe even the Sludge Bomb. I don't know. But it was Flygon up against the world. And I won! We are moving on to the quarters. Big shout out to Big Vileplume, who did not give up even once. The Rabombi sack was unfortunate. Heatran did exactly what Heatran was here to do. I was not really taking Swampert seriously, I guess. Because if I bulked up and knocked off there the Delmites, that thing would have been deleted. But overall, really, really cool on my end. We're moving on up. Thank you so much for checking out this week of the NDL. I don't know who I'm playing for semis yet. As I said, I just played the quarters game. I'm either playing Fistier Doom or Unfair Squid, I think his name is, the new 8th seed, because the old 8th seed Speedy, he dropped out. So one of those guys, hopefully not Fist, because Fist kind of messed me up as you saw in week 12, but it would be cool to try to see if you could beat him again, I suppose. You'll know when I know. Like this video if you have not already. Subscribe if you're new here, and only if you want to do so. I'm trying to get up to 200 subs, and with your help I can get there. Hit that bell so you know what it is I am uploading, and this has been your boy, Snowy Kurama, coach of the Chicago White Sox for this season. Take care of yourselves.